Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamline Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. You know, at Streamline Legal, we are huge fans of workflows, whether we find them in our practice management software, whether we use a a checklist to keep track of them. There's all kinds of ways that we can work through a workflow. Maybe it's in a written procedure, but we are big fans of them. And in Clio in particular, both Clio Manage and Clio Grow do allow you to track tasks individually and allow you to create basically templated lists of tasks. So in Clio Manage, we call them task lists, and in Clio Grow, we call them workflows. And so I wanted to just take a few minutes to dive into Clio Grow and make sure that you know where to find your tasks in Clio Grow, because again, it's a great tool to be able to use to keep track of what needs to be done. And it triggers us, right? It reminds us when to do it. This is exactly what makes our firm more proactive and less reactive. When we have these tasks that are being triggered in order to follow up with either potential new clients in Clio Grow or our current clients in Clio Manage. So when we come over to our Clio Grow screen, um, hopefully you've already found where to create a task. If you haven't, I'll invite you to dive into one of these matters. And on that workflow tab, you'll see that we can add a task to the workflow and within the matter. And so here, maybe I want to say follow up, for signed engagement letter. That's something I might do very often in a Clio Grow matter. And so I'm going to go ahead and select myself. I'm going to follow up on that. I'm going to follow up on it on the 9th. And in Clio Grow, unlike Clio Manage, we can go ahead and set a time for that deadline as well, to be able to get that done by this particular time. I'm not so worried about the time. I'm more concerned about the date right now. And then I can, of course, have some reminder emails if I want. I don't prefer any additional emails, so I'm going to go ahead and say no reminder email, and I'm going to add that task. And what happens when I do that is, of course, it shows up right here on our matter. But here's the thing, I don't want to have to log into Clio Grow and check all of my matters every day. And so the best place to find my upcoming tasks and what needs to be done today is this tab right over here that says Agenda. And when I click on the agenda, it's going to show me all of my tasks, my forms, my documents, my appointments, all of the things that I need to take care of with a due date of today. And so here we'll see I already have a task on another matter. I've got a form I need to get prepared today and sent out. That's all for today. When I take a look at tomorrow, I've got, a task that needs to be done tomorrow, a document that needs to be prepared tomorrow, another task, and it just keeps going, so on and so forth. And then I can also look at my past due tasks, of course, to make sure that I'm getting caught up on those. Now, I will also encourage you to frequently check this section that says no due date. This one's tricky because if we create a task or a document or a form that does not have a due date, it's going to show up here in this list. And of course, this is something that is not going to trigger us, right? We don't know when to do this. And so, number one, I would highly encourage you, no matter what task, document, anything you create in Clio Grow, make sure there is a due date so that it shows up on your agenda at the appropriate time. And check this tab regularly that says no due date to make sure that we're not missing anything and that we haven't lost track of a task where someone forgot to put on a due date. And then lastly, I want to show you, much like Clio Manage has task lists, in Clio Grow, we can create workflows that have multiple tasks or multiple actions in them. And so if I head over here to Settings, there is a section right here that says Workflows and Campaigns. And when I click on that, you can see that I've got some workflows here. And when I expand on some of these, like our family law intake workflow, we went ahead and put an appointment on here that we want them to make for that consult. We have a task that we're going to put in there. And by the way, it says when the task is going to be done, right? And who's going to do it. We have a form that needs to be prepared. We have another task in here, and we have a document. So now what happens is when I come to my matter here, let's find a particular matter. my estate planning matter. Now, when I come in here, when I come to this workflow section tab right here, instead of creating a single task like we looked at a few minutes ago, I can now go ahead and over here, I can put in my workflow, my family law intake workflow that we just looked at. And when I do that, it will add those tasks, it's been created, it will add those tasks to my workflow, right? So you'll see them right here, family law intake, and it's got all the tasks. It's got due dates for the ones where I assigned a due date. And we can go ahead and edit these and add due dates to the ones that might be missing. But we can make sure that all of these things flow right in there, and they're going to trigger me with their due dates when I look at my agenda each day. And so if you haven't used tasks within Clio Grow, or you haven't had an opportunity to use the workflows, please do take a look at those. I think they're very, very helpful. Again, these are the things that take our firm from being less reactive to more proactive, because they're triggering at us at the exact time that we need to accomplish these things. And so instead of waiting for something to show up on the calendar, instead of waiting for a client to email or call to complain or wonder what's going on, now we can be very proactive and keep track of both our potential clients in Clio Grow with those workflows and our current clients in Clio Manage with our task lists. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. Have a great evening. I would love to hear how you're using task lists or workflows within Clio Grow. So please feel free to drop a comment in the comments, and we'll go ahead and keep making videos to keep answering your questions. Thanks. Have a great night.